there's only 2, but it feels like a lot because we don't usually get more than 1.
Yeah. So weirdly, we've seen a lot of red side Renekton bans, so it wouldn't surprise me to see a Renekton locked in early, because that champion is very, very good as a blind pick right now. We did see that Hery got that lane lead and basically maintained the lead throughout the entirety of that game. It does seem to be a pick which LPL is loving. I have said that not a lot of players have necessarily earned the right to play that champion, because you do need to do more than just win lane. You've got to win team fights later on that, which OMG couldn't quite manage to do in that last time. Angel and the Lucian did win that first game in this pick, though, and it very much helped him in regards to kind of like dancing around those team fights. See if we can do the same again here.
Hery just says better still, instead of picking the Renekton myself, which, you know, the Renekton really struggled to impact
already look at a counter.
Exactly, yeah, I'll just pick something that does well into the Renekton. Solokill answers with the Cassante. Cryin goes for the Corki, and it will be an AP jungler locked in. It's the Lilia for Jiejie.
That Lilia is suddenly very, very dangerous here, because the Lilia with the Swell Seed can catch off the Brand or even the Cassante at points and, burn them and threaten them to launch that ult just a one-person splash off that Swell Seed, and things get very, very dangerous when Mega Gnar can potentially fly over the top. If Jiejie is on better form than he was sadly in the last couple of games in regards to his team fights, which have been a bit hit and miss, he could really make a difference on the Lilia. Typically, Lilia can struggle against teams which outrange. Currently, EDG don't do that. They might look towards something like an Ezreal to help them in regards to that, but it wouldn't surprise me if OMG either snapped it up or banned it.
See, Jiejie, he's never played Lilia before professionally. He's certainly a carry player by nature, you know, ex-Rengar one trick. So maybe Lilia is something he's been practicing. We'll have to wait and see. But the AD carry's being banned away, Misfortune and the Varus. You mentioned the Ezreal still up and available. It's something Starry's looked good on in this series as well. So there we go. Ban comes out from EDG. And it means that this Kai'Sa can be stolen away, which Leave has equally looked pretty good on in this series.
Yes, the hovering over that Senna. The Senna does give you some different support options. If you'd like to go towards something like an Ornn instead of the North as well. The Ornn is obviously very, very good with the center as well. It gives you that ability to play towards a bit stronger front line if you're a little bit afraid of how that Lilia can interact with your back line. Hovering over some different options. Leave has looked better on champions that can reposition better. That Kai'Sa really, really helped in regards to finding himself into the better parts of the team fight. Of course, he's had some weaker moments on that too, but still, that ability to reposition has very much been what he has been looking for. The Zeri can do that with the wall raids.
I feel like Zeri, one of the champions that Leave has been the most comfortable on across his career, where, you know, when he first came into the roster, Zeri was like the pick at the time, and when we saw him having a couple of pop-off games, definitely something he's got plenty of practice on, and Wink happy to lock in the Nautilus alongside it, and partly just to deny Kai'Sa Nautilus as a combo. But that means Rel is open and available with a Lilia and a Gnar alongside it. That's a hell of a combo in a team fight.
And I like OMG's teamfight comp because they don't have to snap engage if they don't want to. They can wait to play around some Swell Seeds, which can be really, really powerful later on and threaten the enemy team into retreating and kind of get their front line into position to block someone so they don't just immediately die if they get slept on. It does feel like OMG have given themselves some good options. They have mobile carries for Angel and Starry, which has been definitely something we've talked about as a favorable thing for a lot of our mid to bottom table teams. It can help them find the right place in team fights. EDG, I think they have the better front line. I do think that Jiejie on the Brand is a strong factor. He has shown exactly what he can do with that. Very nearly solo carried the game in game one, but couldn't quite manage to pull it off. I feel like OMG, with these multiple engage options, though, giving themselves a much easier time to find the team fights they were failing at in game number 2.
Can they find them, is the question, because that's been one of the criticisms we've had of both teams, is the actual execution when it comes down to it. That was the biggest issue we saw for OMG in the previous game. EDG, in the first game, really, really struggling to execute on their composition, especially later on into things. It does feel like EDG have been the ones with the gold lead on average in this series. Like, EDG on average have been ahead. But OMG, certainly not a team to be counted out, and I do like this composition theoretically. We'll see if OMG can pilot it, find their picks. EDG similarly, let's see how this early game is going to go. Jiejie, a player with a lot of weight on his shoulders right now for OMG. He needs to have a good performance away from that Rengar once more.
So all the marbles in this series coming into game 3, so important to get ahead in this Nirvana group.
EDG 还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
So, OMG 1-0 in the group so far. EDG already with 1 series lost, already playing the 3rd series. Feels like the group has only just begun, and yet they're finding ways to get those games in. EDG would love to finish this series off with a win. It's not been a clean series. There's a lot to work on for this team. There's a lot to take away from these VODs for both teams in terms of improvements. But at the end of the day, those points are what matters. It's still very possible for either of these teams to make it towards playoffs. They've got to get on top of this pile. Whether or not it's possible will be a question of this kind of battle of attrition that is the group stage, that is a round robin. But we'll find out over the next couple of weeks which of these teams is going to be able to make it into playoffs. OMG and EDG, though, reputations to uphold for these organizations.
Yeah, they've been such stalwarts. First played off against each other in 2014. That's when EDG came into the league. OMG were there for a year before that in 2013. Some of the real OGs of the league alongside Invictus Gaming's been there for years. Team WE. We have a couple of those organizations which have lasted over time. Pretty much every historical org in LPL has had the ups and downs at this point. They've seen better days, these two. Really like that trade there from Angel. We've already highlighted this Lucian-Corki matchup earlier in the series. Getting to hop out of that Foss bomb can mean that Lucian can get good winning trades, especially with the press the attack in that mid lane. See if Angel can give Tianjin a winning lane to work off of there, as it does look like bot lane is getting pushed in from EDG. The Jiejie is going to be positioning towards the bot side of the map, and he'll try and maybe use that to get towards the bot scuttle.
Should be able to grab that one for himself. Tianjin moves into that top side. Quiet start to things, as you'd expect with a Lilia and a Brand in the jungle. As Angel hits level 3 and lets Cryin know about it. That is a hell of a trade from Angel in the mid lane. And dashes for another double shot there.
That is the
Q is up in a second. He's got flash.
It's the textbook trade. Textbook trade. I think he can't quite do it because of just the amount of healing you get from Corki, the absorb life, the fleet forward, and the level up, just about keeping him safe. But Angel skips out of the Fossum, gets to press the attack, and then uses his abilities afterwards, gets his E refresh. That is like the picture-perfect Lucian trade. We've seen a lot of Lucians struggle to use this pick to the edge of what we know it can do. The fact that we're seeing better games on it now means I'm liking this pick more and more. I'm getting more confidence in that our players are learning how to use this, especially from the early lane.
And I think this is where you get a lot of value from having a player like Angel on your roster who has played for such a long time. Like, Lucian has been a mid laner over the years. It's just quite a long time ago. But Angel, he's got those games under his belt. He's played this pick. He's been around long enough to know how this one works. And really, really nice trades to start his game off. Fantastic stuff to see. Jiejie sticks around at the bottom side. Oh, that looked like a hit to me. I've seen Nautilus hooks that hit that.
I mean, well, this happened a little earlier in the series where Ppgod couldn't quite land that hook himself. Feels like the Nautilus gods are not necessarily smiling on our players today. A lot of hitting walls, not quite hitting those clutch skill shots, but, you know, if that hits, that's likely a kill. That's likely bot side control from EDG. The fact that hook just about misses maybe even changes the whole patchwork of the game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, when we first saw the Nautilus locked in for Ppgod in game number 1, I was like, you know, this is Ppgod's bread and butter, and then Ppgod had a really rough game. But Wink as well, a similar player in terms of, like, you know, Nautilus, Leona were very much his wheelhouse when he first stepped over to being a support. Remember, this guy was an AD carry for a long time. And yet, Nautilus not looking so hot to start us off. Maybe just a singular mistake, though, rather than a trend.
I did find it quite funny that, particularly in regards to when Wings changed his supports, he was forever with Arn as a bot lane. That both of them were Draven players, which was just really, really funny to me. It's just like somehow Invictus Game managed to pick these guys up over time.
I mean, they had Jackie Love before that as well.
Exactly, the Draven amongst all drivers.
Who's also a Draven player. This organization like just breeds Draven players, I guess.
They collect them like Pokemon gym badges. It's like you must have this many Draven players to level up as a team.
That is IG's gym badge, is the Draven.
Yeah. It's just like a little swirling, twirling axe. That's
yeah.
I could get behind that. I could definitely get behind it. It feels like a team signature. And yeah, we'll see. That's a hell of a level 6 trade.
Ooh, 1 HP away from literally a solo kill on solo kill. Hery, great job in this laning phase. as Angel continues to land these Qs. He's level 6, Culling is up. Cryin might have to flash here. W comes out, but Angel holds off on the ultimate.
Angel doing a great job of dodging out these skill shots. Again, the grand majority of why Lucian is being picked is because you can dodge out of the fast one, even though they've changed the missile speed for it to be faster, so it's harder to do that. If you can dodge out of that skill, because it's now the max thing, we don't see the Corki Emax anymore. If you miss that force one, you are losing that trade. So Angel really showing what you can do in that lane. It's not led to a huge CS lead, but it has led to push. Problem is, EDG also lost that bot lane, so it's much easier for OMG to play around that bot side of the map. The hook lands, and this time Jiejie almost combos up into that. Doesn't get the kill though, and it's going to be a split map in terms of the objectives.
Certainly is. Tianjin will be able to grab these grubs. She's using that smite as well, just to speed up on the second one. We'll be able to finish the job. We'll be able to get that crab as well. I don't think he'll have much of an angle to go top, so it probably will just be a reset off the back of that one. Very quiet early game, very objective-focused early game, and I can imagine that the coaching staff for both of these teams coming into game 3 here, it was like, okay, take it easy. Let's wait until we've got absolutely guaranteed plays. This doesn't feel like a guaranteed play, but it does feel like a play that could work, although Tianjin takes 2 damages. No! Oh, God, Tianjin!
Tianjin doesn't pull the ult either. Maybe he could have waited for Angel to flash forward or something, but realizes it's not going to happen. And because the DOT's been applied, he takes tower aggro. Even though he leaves tower range, he takes it back again because of that that dream-laden bow. Tianjin goes down, and it has been, you know, a series where he gets himself an MVP. Watch back at this again. That's 12 seed hits. That's a dead Corki. You can't Valkyrie out, but he takes aggro because of the passive, the DOT. He could have maybe flashed out of tower range. Maybe he could have flashed out of the QE flash combo from Jiejie. Doesn't quite manage it. Goes down and gives gold over to that mid jungle.
That is heartbreaking. Just as I was saying, they're playing safe. Just as I was saying, they're going to take it easy to start it off. Tianjin flubs a dive in the mid lane, and that massive lead that Angel was working on suddenly equalized. And now Jiejie, it's a fantastic start for him. Gets himself first blood on the brand. You really couldn't ask for more.
You know what? The big difference in these early games is how these junglers play around winning lanes. When Jiejie has had winning lanes, he's managed to do something with it most of the time, even if it is just about getting some camp steals or something like that. Obviously, that's much more important on AP junglers. But we saw Tianjin, even with the winning lanes, when he had the Vi, which can force plays, really struggled to play through those winning lanes. And again, here on the Lilia, Lucian was dumpstering the mid lane, if not in CS, but at least in the trading and, of course, in the pressure you're getting out in that lane as well. That wave was constantly on the turret. The fact that Tianjin couldn't play towards it is a big issue.
Oh, all in on the bottom side. Wink going to be the target. He's not level 6 just yet, but second plasma won't be procced. Starry does have that ultimate if Wink oversteps. Leave actually going to try and find an all-in onto Starry. Barrier used early on. W lands onto Leave. Leave actually hit level 7. This is not a fight that Starry really wants to take. He wants to get this wave, but it could be a dive angle for the side of EDG. But Wink face checks into the brush and goes down before the dive can ever come through. The Pyroclasm, though, and Tianjin might go down instead as Leave grabs himself a kill off the back of it. The sleep is too little, and it's too late.
Leave rides over the wall to safety as he takes himself a bit of a nap after getting himself a nice kill for himself. OMG. These early plays, playing through lanes, have just not worked for them. And Tianjin, the new addition to the roster, yes, walked away with an MVP for his smites, but not really for his ganking.
He's got killer instinct available. He flashes first and then follows the E over the wall. Starry surely finishes the job, but the killer instinct was so short. He didn't wait until Leave was in Tribrush, and it means Leave walks away.
Starry looks for the auto reset. He tries to go for the quick double tap of the auto, but he doesn't get the kill, and Leave with the fleet footwork gets the movement speed to escape the play. Nothing is working out in these micro plays for OMG in this early game. You gotta feel for them. They have been so close to making good plays, just about to capitalize, and they keep getting hit like this.
Ppgod forced to flash. Oh, things are getting away from OMG, aren't they? You can kind of feel the panic exuding through the screen here in the way that these plays are going. The health bars get solo for EDG, but not really able to finish these kills. And Hery getting a kill early on, Brand getting a kill early on. It's just not good for OMG. Sets a ward over the wall. Ppgod just going to sweep it straight away. Tianjin moving over. Second spawn of grubs here. EDG wants to even them up.
Starry's gone towards top side, so he could roam down potentially, but he'd be on the wrong side of the fight. So OMG deciding, alright, let's not take this fight. Rather wait for a little bit more gold. Giving EDG over the 3 grubs means that, of course, they'll get some tower damage, but it's not going to be anything more than that for the might buff. So, in terms of the objectives, even-ish, we are getting OMG trying to focus on playing through these aggressive lanes. Angel really was dunking on the lanes early. We saw that Hery doing the same thing in this Nymeara matchup. It goes too close towards Fog of War. Now, if your jungler's on your side of the map, you assume you're on the strong side, but that doesn't mean you're always safe. You can't still walk up like that. Ends up dying for that one. And Jiejie at least ends up getting a clean one back. Leaves tanks up there, then Lily ult too after this point. So the big thing with Kai'Sa is that you often look to use your ultimate as an auto reset. So what he tries to do is try and get himself into that fight. We don't even get to see the end of the play. Another fight.
Death charge onto Starry, but Ppgod, we saw his flash used in the previous play. That's another kill for Leave. Leave is getting real strong as Hery forced away as well. That's EDG grabbing a Drake as well as previously getting those 3 grubs. This is a phenomenal start for EDG. They might just be pushing themselves towards a win at this rate.
It is looking pretty bad for OMG on the other side, because while that play went poorly on the bot side, they weren't on the other side of the map. Normally, if you lose a kill there, you look to the top lane and you say, oh, well, is there going to be a tower play taken there? Is going to be a tower taken? Well, Angel's there now, but he wasn't there 30 seconds ago. If he was, maybe you'd be able to cross map. So they lose the dragon, they lose themselves a kill, but they don't have a great answer available to them. OMG, I think the solo laners have been pretty good on that front, but they have just been behind on map movements, and they are again, as we see a teleport towards this top side. Angel can't even stay for another plate here. Cryin can maybe even look for an all-in.
Hey, the plate still managed to get picked up
just where I gets it.
in the end for Angel. Those grubs plus 1,000 minions doing their work. I just want to quickly mention Hery has quietly been picking up a massive lead for himself. As Solokill obviously left that tower at some point. Those 3 plates were taken earlier on by Hery on the top side. It's 1,500 gold up. As Angel dives in onto Cryin, Jiejie trying to move up there as well. Might just have to... No, he doesn't have Smite up here. He's trying to keep the grubs away from Jiejie, but the reset means Leave picks them up in the end. Jiejie forced underneath this tower right here. Bit of burn coming on through. Ppgod's here. EDG surely can't dive this.
It depends how much CC lands. You do have that brand with so much damage. Starry's here, though. It is a, what, 4v4?
Ppgod just dives in. Magnet Storm across everyone. Leave has to carry this one. Cleanses as Jiejie dives across the team. As Starry dives into the backline. Cryin on the front side as Starry might just be able to finish him. There's the auto. 1v1 between the AD carries. Who's better? Plasma comes out on top. And Starry makes his name in the series.
The top lane runs red with blood as OMG walk away with the 4v4 at 13 minutes in the top lane. We're not going to call that one standard, but we're going to call it standard for this series. OMG getting themselves into a much better point. While this is happening, what did we say about the last play? OMG didn't have a cross map ready. Their cross map this time is having Hery dunking on this individual matchup. Just before this Gnar was the only person with the lead for OMG. That has flipped around massively after this point. You can see that, you know, there are 4 members in. There's good damage from the side of EDG if the brand gets good value, but he's already put into the meat grinder by that Rel, by the Lilia as well, getting the Dream Dust passive onto everyone. The fact that Angel walks out from this alive too, and Starry gets the plasma at the end, it makes this insult to injury as Starry picks up so much gold.
Hery at least will grab a tower in the bottom. Hery is 2,500 gold up on Gnar.
Oh yeah.
He's a big, big top laner. Down in the bottom side of the map, EDG, in the meantime though, will grab that Herald for themselves.
I could be a bit harsh here and say that Hery, the reason he's so far ahead is that he didn't have his jungler die to the enemy champion in lane. Like, Jiejie maybe made sure that Angel couldn't get similar kinds of leads, and then Hery's like, look, I'm just going to play my 1v1, going to get side lane gold, see you in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Does feel like he's set up in a position where this side lane threat could be the way OMG push this one forwards. They are, like, they're up a sizable amount of gold, and it is pretty much exclusively Hery, but Starry managing to even the lead that Leave got earlier on in the game off of the back of that fight as Kraken Slayer is now finished off, and he is ready to get into these scraps. Kai'Sa, one of those champions that every single item just feels like a big spike.
Hugely so. Once you get towards that 2 items, Starry is going to be Starry is going to be shredding people. I think EDG needs to be really, really careful in the next few minutes, because if they look for like a split map state and the swirl seed hits someone and the sleep comes through, Kai'Sa will jump on and kill them as well. Very easy for OMG to catch up people on their own. Solokill cannot be left alone defending turrets. He can't wave clear. EDG, you can't leave this Cassandra. He's not going to be able to save your turrets. OMG, 3 turrets now killed. Lots of gold onto very important members. A lot of it's because Solokill is being left alone to wave clear when he clearly can't. I think EDG need to make sure that he's in a safe lane at this point, because he can't defend the map.
Well, OMG's slogan is Dawning Beams Shine and Planets Sparkle. Right now it feels like the stars are sparkling for them. Starry, the one with a good chunk of their lead. Wink.
Oh, he's going to get towards bot lane. You can reach mid lane to bot lane.
How good of a driver is he? We've had plenty of terrible drivers here in the LPL, but Wink is not among them. Oh, yes, he is!
Oh, no!
He missed the tower. It looked so good until it didn't.
So close, but misses the finish line and just kind of crashes out onto the wall. Call out the safety car. Put ourselves a red flag up for that one. And we'll see whether we can get this race back on track soon enough. Finding the bot side potential.
Oh, Ppgod finds the engage, and there goes Starry to follow it up. There's one onto Jiejie already, and I mean, that's Drake taken with the jungler down.
We were exactly talking about this. OMG look for split picks. EDG needs to be very careful about how they position around the map. If someone is left alone, it is really, really hard. That Kai'Sa ultimate, not even at the 2nd level yet. If you get to the 2nd rank of that ultimate, it becomes so much larger range. Can follow up from such a longer distance. OMG, they stop the dragon stacking and they get more gold onto Starry, who's going to get towards the 2nd item now. We're going to get ourselves a replay of this. You know, you have the Cassandra and the Zeri in mid lane, your Corkies around, but they're just not within range to respond quickly. You are never getting to this play if the engage is pulled. And I don't think EDG realized that until too late. They had a great lead in this game. It has evaporated at this point.
Feels like this Rel Kai'Sa combo. Do you know, I kind of prefer this to the Ezreal that they've been prioritizing all series long. Starry is looking good on the pick. Ppgod finding these engages, setting it up for his team. I mean, the top lane brawl that got Starry ahead in the first place was Ppgod turning around with a snap engage, pulling multiple players from EDG in with a Magnet Storm. Does feel like this bot duo doing a lot of work. In fact, all 3 lanes managing to find advantages in this one.
Yeah, Angel, of course, looks a little bit different because Cryin's had all the side lane gold. It's Hery that has all the side lane gold for OMG. So, you know, they chose to put Hery ahead instead of Angel. I think that's fine. Angel's still getting gold. Now Hery is genuinely a win condition. I mean, we have seen that Solokill cannot defend turrets. And yes, we are going to see Cryin getting more side lane gold, so the Corki is going to get towards their items on a quicker power point than Angel. Already at that Muramana, Cryin can potentially do a bit of carrying in this game. I need to see now Hery, who has been up and down, used this lead well. He's currently on weak side, does not want to give a shutdown over. Well, actually, he doesn't have a shutdown over. That's weird in its own right.
Yeah,
how the hell does he not have a shutdown? Excuse me?
2,500 gold up individually. He doesn't have a shutdown.
What? He has a 40 CS lead, 2,500 gold. That is beyond me. Solokill. I think Solokill might die here, by the way. He is very pushed up.
Solo kill or solo death. Only time will tell. The dot comes on down, and that will lead to a sleep. Angel ready to follow up with the combo as well. And solo kill, unfortunately for him, will just go down. Tianjin grabs that kill. Tianjin refusing to let Angel have any leads in this game. Removed the lane lead, now removing kills later on in the game as well.
Yeah, you know, he didn't get any kills in game 1. Gonna make up for it somehow. Teleport in through the back, solo kill. No teleport, no life. This will be a 5v4 if they find the fight, but they can't quite get themselves the engage.
I mean, the Lucian flank is not exactly what the champion's designed for. And EDG just stands strong. Health bars were kind of chunked on OMG from Ppgod and from Hery, so they decide not to make the play, but the tier 2 survives in the mid lane. EDG push onto the bottom lane here, but they don't actually have any minions to work with, so they are now tanking the tower, and I think they realize this is not a siege that they can continue.
It's really dangerous to be making plays like this. Now, they do need to group up as a death ball, because if they don't, OMG will engage, and they will kill very, very quickly. But they didn't have solo kill there, and by the time he teleports in, it would have been a very dangerous fight potential there. Solokill just way too pushed up. You can see that we were talking about Hery, how he needs to be responsible with his lead in the side lane. Solokill doesn't have a lead to be responsible with, and yet he is still being irresponsible here. Pushing up like that is not helping him get out of this deficit. And it is sad, because I think Solokill has had some great games. Every so often he has a moment like this, and you think, yeah, he's still a newer player, and he's kind of showing it here in the side lane.
I feel like this is not just a Solokill issue either. This has been something that Cryin has done as well, is just slightly over push, and a lot of the time he's on the Tristana, so he can get away with it, but on Corki games we have seen him over push, get caught out, be punished for it. Feels like both of these solo laners for EDG have a little tendency to do that kind of thing. Solokill punished for it this time around. But we're a minute away from an Infernal Drake here. This would be the second Infernal Drake for OMG if they were able to get it. Does feel like they have all the advantages to work with as well, with Starry on 2 items, same for Angel in the mid lane. I'm not really sure this is particularly fightable for EDG.
You could pray that they overengage into a Brand. That's done a lot of work before. Jiejie does have a lot of damage, even though he's down 1,000 gold. Brand is Brand at the end of the day. He doesn't necessarily... yeah, the more damage he gets, the more disgusting it gets, but it's not like he won't have impact all the same. Dragon should spawn. I think EDG do need to focus on getting towards that 3 items for lead and Cryin. If they get that, then I think that carries who are still very relevant in this game could just take over a game by themselves. They're fighting over mid lane prior. Tianjin takes a tag there. Solokill goes forward, misses the Q3.
I was a little bit nervous that I was going to get caught there. TP into the mid lane. EDG win mid prio and use it immediately. They tagged up this tier 2 earlier, so EDG rewarded with a tier 2 in the mid lane. Nice bit of play from them as Hery pushes the wave out bot and looks to group up with his team. Starry separated from the rest of the squad, but unlike Kai'Sa, he can rejoin the gang very simply. EDG definitely want to fight this Drake.
Yeah, so just watch out for these swell seeds. If a good swell seed lands, I think the engage can come through after that point, so watch out for these E's. It's going to be one on the front line. Don't necessarily one on the Nautilus, one on the back line. Celestial opposition gone. Ppgod on an engage angle.
Blast cone available for him. Will get spotted and pushed away. Celestial opposition gone. That's a knock-in towards Hery, but he's about to turn mega. Actually jumped the wrong direction, but I don't think it matters. OMG got the damage to start things off. 3v3 now as Tianjin in the middle of everyone, but he survives anyway. He walks away with his life, and Starry takes over while everyone's distracted. He flies into the back line and shuts them down. OMG find an ace, a dragon, and they head to the purple worm.
Oh, it's clear skies in this game, and it is a starry sky awaiting OMG. They take the Kai'Sa, they take the Star carry, and OMG are going to not just take the Dragon, they're going to take the Baron on top of all the kills that they had. They had so many leads to work around, and they have just exploded this game. At the time of asking, OMG, this should be the play which really should put them to a win. It's hard to say it in this series, but that should break open this game.
OMG going full Van Gogh here with a Starry Night, and this fight just looking all daffodils for them.
And you know, Hery, he is really strong on the Nart. I do think he makes the right decision to not jump forward there because he had the Nautilus ult onto him. It would have cancelled out his jump either way, and he's not got any armor or resist just yet. He ends up just about buying up the space, and it's Starry that cleans up on the other side. So even though the engage, the hook comes through, it's not quite enough to get that kill onto Hery and deny him the fight because he just about gets out of range.
And again, we see Leave hunting for these big plays. The fight is lost, but he tries to finish the kills off. Fair play to him on that one. That's Pyroclasm used very liberally from Jiejie, trying to keep himself safe and return that. I mean, that damage is absurd. That was one ultimate coming out from Brad.
Yeah.
Jiejie and Ppgod got sent packing.
Yeah, it's like the last time we saw the fight, we were saying, well, is EDG in a position to fight this? Well, Brand might be, because he's Brand. It's really hard to tell sometimes, because, yeah, Brand is still an immobile carry. He can just die and do nothing, but if he gets his combo off, that's probably like half the team's HP without going down. We used to see a lot of Brand support for exactly the same reason.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter if he has the items, he's still Brand, and this is why this champion is so high priority. First pick for EDG in the 2 games that they've played it, if memory serves me right. Currently has no flash, though, and he's not exactly very good at surviving situations like this, and he doesn't have something like a Seeker's or a Zhonya's. OMG can very much pick on this Brand and stop that character from doing any damage as much as he has a lot of it.
Let's see if he can. I mean, Brand, famous for his sort of ARAM moniker, similar to that of Karthus, where it's okay if I die. so long as I've jumped in and used my whole combo, leave, get the hell away from that wall. That felt real scary for a second. Yeah, even if Jiejie dies, so long as he's blasted off his combo, he's got his ult bouncing, he'll still do mega damage in the fight. It's down to the rest of the team to finish the job at that stage. Chunked by a Prey Seeker. Won't be able to find more.
So, OMG. This should be the moment they close the game. We've not really been able to say that very conclusively, though, in this series. And again, historical though this matchup may be, both these teams have been on the downswing. Need to see them pick up wins like this to stabilize within this group. OMG, they win this, they go to 2-0. That puts them in pretty good standings here in Group Nirvana. EDG, they played a lot more series than many of other teams. This will be their third coming through. If they go to 1-2 in a group which has had some upstarts already here in Nirvana, I mean, I think TT had a great series the other day. IG and Ultra Prime showing some decent moves as well. It's dangerous to be dropping series like this.
Feels so important, doesn't it, to get these wins on the board, and for OMG to be 2-0 in the group. That would be such a fantastic little buffer for them to move forwards in this group. Remember, this is a team very much with eyes on playoffs. If they can manage to thread things together with this roster, they've made so many roster changes. It's obvious that the organization wants to make something work with this roster. It's just whether or not they can actually cross those T's and dot those I's.
Do you remember the eyes on curse when there was that video series around Worlds? It's like eyes on this team, eyes on this player, and then they'd immediately lose. I get a little bit worried. It's like, eyes on playoffs. Oh no, it's coming back. We'll see whether they can shake off that one.
What playoffs is about to lose?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a little bit more Worlds focused than this one, so we'll hope that it doesn't apply in this situation. But I'd like to again just put out the historical little fact there. Anyway,
I
Dragon.
love that series, by the way.
It was great, fantastic content, by the way. I love that. Deep dive into the players and get a bit of their stories. Dragon up in 30 seconds. EDG, they don't have flash on Jiejie. He doesn't have a Seeker, so he is very, very likely to die. Ppgod has flash. Hery doesn't matter. I think once you have that Rel getting into the backline, probably it's going to be lights out. Starry is so ready to shred through this team. It's 7-0-2 already. So strong.
Really scary for either of these teams to get themselves an Infernal Soul as well, so each of these Drakes so crucial. AP Kaiser with Infernal Soul, no thank you, that sounds horrendous. Don't want to play against that. We'll see, goes wide with the TP behind enemy lines as Ppgod sets it all up. Hery arrives and slams him into the wall. That's EDG eliminated in this series as Cryin sent Ppgod over the wall. No! Turns it around, gets one for himself. Revenge for the laning phase, but it's still OMG out on top.
I don't think it's going to save that much. 4 members alive from OMG and Starry alive. OMG full wave behind them, walking in towards the Nexus. EDG, they might have just seen this series slip away from them.
This Kaiser from Starry has been gorgeous. 10-0-2 as they finish this one out. Cryin trying to buy some time for his team. The Zonya's going to be used as Cryin does find another one, and actually Cryin has kept the game, this series, alive for EDG.
Cryin somehow makes it happen, gets a little bit of wave clear, and I feel like OMG, they just weren't really concerted on their efforts, and now they're teleporting in.
Oh god, this is getting real messy for OMG, isn't it? They're going to lose the Drake off the back of this one. Hery starts it off. I think maybe just trying to proc his fleet footwork. As Jiejie moves over, this will be Drake for EDG, and crucially, that soul point for EDG on an Infernal Soul.
So they get something from nothing. They lose themselves mid-inhib, they lose themselves a Nexus threat. They do give over a boatload of gold once again to Starry, so it's not like this is a win for them, it's just a lesser form of a loss. Massive engage from Ppgod, massive engage, follow-up from the rest of the team beyond that point. But OMG do find themselves a clean team fight. Angel probably feels himself a little too much. He wasn't the one getting the side lane goal. Cryin was. Baron now started. EDG trying to turn the screws.
EDG might have overdone it though. Angel gets a chunk, dodges the hook. Solokill tanking this whole time, so he's down to half HP already. Misses the Q3 though. And leave. Tanked a bit of Baron damage. Tanked a Void Seeker potentially as Angel's looking for Jiejie. Oh no, the jungler in so much trouble for EDG, and Angel practically solo kills him. Wink tried to save his jungler, so he goes down as well. And Crayon's heroic efforts are for naught. OMG moved to the mid.
Starry has that W reset. What's he going to try and do? He's going to try and stop the recalls. So much damage with that ultimate available as well. Angel going back, going to teleport back in. Only one Nexus turret. It feels like it is all over except for the Cryin. He stopped it last time, but I don't think he can again.
TP onto the minion. Solokill goes in as Starry finds revenge for the defense. A double solo kill to finish the game, and an unbelievable MVP performance from the young AD carry.
It goes to 3 games. OMG EDG, a historical matchup with two teams which have found themselves in darker times than they expected, but they still make a show of it. They make us sit on the edge of our seat and wait for the fireworks to stop. OMG walk away the victors of the 2-1 series. This was a team that has made so many changes, trying to find some kind of chemistry which works. Is this the start of something of that chemistry? It can be hard to tell. EDG have also really struggled in their own right, but still, OMG walk away with an important win. This can be the building block for something more. 2-0 in series is not where I would have put them at first.
And I will say, pretty much every roster I've seen Ppgod on have been very momentum-based. This is a guy that brings vibes to a team, and when they're winning, they are winning. In Ppgod's history, at least. Perhaps that could be the story here for this OMG roster. Perhaps, like you say, this is the first step on a road that could lead them to playoffs. 2-0 at the top of the standings. And Starry, I mean, what a performance from him.
Yeah.
Such a young player, such an exciting